I recently went to the amazing theme park that is Dollywood and rode the amazing RMC that is the Lightning Rod, so today I'm going to give an in-depth review of my new #1 coaster. Firstly, I'm going to give a brief recap on the tumultuous history of this coaster. Opening in 2016 as a topper track Woody, Lightning Rod was one of the most problematic roller coasters in the world, operating on an on and off basis for the first 4 years of its life, much of which was due to its lift launch. It was pretty much a coin toss of whether you'd get to ride this or not. The topper track also got rough later in its life, so Lightning Rod had become a pretty violent coaster by 2020. During the 2020 and 2021 off-season, Dollywood and RMC replaced 2,160 feet of the ride with steel iBox track, which is about 57% of Lightning Rod's 3,800 feet total track length. The ride is well themed throughout the queue, but this theming does not extend to the ride itself, other than the trains being painted to resemble a hot rod, and the Zero car looks the part as well. Before I get into the ride experience, you should know that the lap bars are not very accommodating for larger or taller guests. Due to the wildness of the ride, Lightning Rod needs a huge bar with a shin guard. It isn't actually that uncomfortable of a restraint, it's just really bulky. Anyway, on to the ride experience. Lightning Rod begins with a right-hand turn out of the station. You hear revving noises, which is a nice touch. You then launch 45 miles an hour, or about 72.5 kilometers per hour up the hill, but it feels much faster due to the verticality. You crest the hill and back row riders will get a bit of airtime on the first, smaller hill, but everyone gets amazing ejector airtime on the largest drop, which is 165 feet tall and brings the coaster to its top speed of 73 miles an hour. Also, for any non-Americans that happen to stumble across this, that's 165 meters and 117 kilometers an hour. Lightning Rod's main drop is phenomenal, but it isn't even the best part of the ride. The train then rises into a massive wave turn, which provides sideways airtime the whole way. The bottom of this wave turn is where the only noticeably jarring part of the ride is. You are pretty much guaranteed to get stabled here because of how rough this patch of track is, which is a bummer. This is followed by an upwards bank to the right into a quick twist and shout, which gives insane whip and airtime, before twisting down and into another, slightly smaller wave turn that also gives wild airtime. This thing just does not let up. You rise up a hill via two airtime hills that act sort of like a twisted double up and approach the ride's finale, the famous quad down. Each hill offers stronger airtime than the last, and this is most likely the greatest finale on a coaster in the world. I was able to marathon this later in the day, and my legs were sore by the end of the marathon due to how absurd the airtime is. You dive under the final brake run and go into another smaller dip, which also gives airtime, before rising through the massive turnaround and diving into the brakes. Lightning Rod has phenomenal pacing. There isn't a dead spot on the ride. Every hill offers airtime, every wave turn laterals, the launch is deceptively powerful, and due to its recent iBox retracking, it is a mostly smooth ride. The back row is a must here. I didn't actually even get around to doing the front row, but I have a feeling the back is still superior, even with the increased sense of speed the front provides. The operations on Lightning Rod were good while I was there. It was running 2 trains both days, and I never waited more than 45 minutes for the ride, although I saw on the Dollywood app that the ride time got around to 2.5 hours near the middle of the day, both days. So the verdict on Lightning Rod is a 9.5 out of 10. Despite how amazing this coaster is, I can't quite give it a 10 out of 10. This coaster is fantastic in every sense. I honestly wonder what it would take for a coaster to get a 10 out of 10 from me, as my own #1 doesn't even have it, but all that being said, Lightning Rod is a world-class ride and should be on every enthusiast's bucket list.